Yes, we're still on press review, and join us in the studio is Comrade Kanayo Obidibo, a regular here and the public affairs analyst. Together, we'll be looking at the papers this morning. Good morning.
Thank you, David, for having me.
All right. Normally, we start with ABS website, and on ABS website, we have illegal revenue collection. Anambra government dissolves tricycle union. Anambra lawmaker Ibida lauds mutual relationship between state executive and legislature.
Customs Service begins recruitment of over 3,000 personnel. And finally, farmers in Uru village, Mbauku, Oka South Council area, cry out over destruction of crops by cows.
Oh, there's the stories there. Maybe let's begin to look at the one that seems to be touching us closely. Farmers in Uru village, Mbauku, Oka South Council area, cry out over destruction of crops by cows.
Yeah, Kanayo. Oh, we know that we have this problem. It's been perennial, if you ask me. But then the state government is doing everything possible to make sure that the clashes between the farmers and the herdsmen are minimized. What do we do? Now they have moved from Anambra East to Mbu.
Oka South now.
Oka South.
You see, it is a very bad experience that from the national level, we have had issues of these herdsmen moving into farmland and destroying crops. I have not seen anywhere in the world where animal husbandry is not properly organized. There should be. We talked about ranching. We talked about grazing. I have not seen a situation where, even within the West Coast, where the cows are wandering. They are just like wandering into people's property, destroying properties that actually ignites the trouble. If
using your own business to destroy another person's
that's
business.
what I'm saying. So I don't see it as a difficult issue for the National Assembly to come up with a good legislation on how to control these wanderers, because they are wanderers. They are not organized. They move into farmland, and they destroy. There's nobody, no farmer will allow his crops to be destroyed.
Not at all. Okay, but I know that. Okay, before you go, the other time this issue of ranching came up, and I don't know how far we have gone with that.
Because the government is not a serious government. Government is encouraging all these clashes. I'm talking about the federal government of this country. They are encouraging the clashes among the farmers and the cattle rearers. Otherwise, by now, because of the level of clashes we have had in the past, people were killed in Benue State as a result of these issues. And then here in Anambra State, in Umumbo, which is Anambra, I am a local government, we have just had issues of the cattle rearers clashing with our farmers there. And more especially, more especially, we are having these rice farmers where they destroy farm, and the minister for agriculture is claiming that Nigeria is self-sufficient with about 90% production of rice. Where are they coming from? Right, and this morning I was This morning I was really mad when they were talking about rice production. Producing states. They did not mention Anambra State. With the effort Anambra rice has been, known in this country.
There's a reaction by the state government through the special advisor to the governor on indigenous medicine and herbal practice, Dr. Onyeka Bezim, who empathized with the farmers, advised them not to take laws into their hands, as he assured that the state government is on top of the situation. Dr. Bezim, who hails from the community, said that the issue, which is before the community's town union, has been brought to the notice of Governor Willie Obiano, who has directed the committee overseeing such matters to, as a matter of urgency, visit the community and settle the issue by paying compensation to those affected. Recall that the state government, through the committee, devised a workable means of compensating those whose crops were destroyed on the side of the farmers and compensating their cows if cows were killed. That's talking about the interim arrangement made by the state government, where you ensure that to harmonize between the farmers and the herders, ensuring that once it is the herders that are on the fault, they will compensate the farmers. And where the farmers or where the community intentionally kills a cow, the arrangement, the committee will ensure that those things are managed properly. We'll look at those issues more, but because of our time, we will leave it at that now to look at National Light newspaper. On the front page of the National Light, we have Buhari directs AGF, Customs was handover now. Buhari directs AGF, Customs boss 12 MDA heads. In Oka, man bats wife with acid. That's the gruesome story that we saw yesterday. NYC member collapses, dies in camp. We can't get the details of that story now, but I'm not sure it's in Anambra, because the report we got from Anambra camp is that they had peaceful passing out ceremonies in their after the swearing on Monday. Senate rejects to phase out, after the orientation on Monday, Senate rejects to phase out petrol vehicles. Those are the stories that we have on National Light. I'll take Cordita together, also still the Igbo version of National Light. Ejidela mmadụ asatọ maka imetọ mbara obodo na Anambra. Ndị keke egosili iwe ha n'Ọnịcha merụọ mmadụ ise ahụ, mebie ọtụtụ ihe. Nwa Anambra bi Ireland etululu ugo na edemede. Ndị a bụ akụkọ anyị nwere na Cordita. Senate rejects bill to phase out petrol vehicles. We saw the story yesterday by the senator representing Bayelsa East, Senator Bemure, seeking to phase out petrol cars. But the Senate was unanimous in rejecting that bill. Do you think Senator Mure Bruce went before time, or that the Senate, like this, when Bruce said that they were not of the modern generation? What is your view on that?
I wonder how Nigerians will phase out fuel cars automatically in this country. What is the next alternative? Are they going to produce vehicles that are using gas? Electricity. When we have not had electricity to boost our industries, and we are now talking of cars that, I don't understand Nigeria. Well, have they actually transferred technology to that extent that we are now challenging some of these?
The bill actually is seeking to phase out petrol cars by 2035.
If you phase out petrol cars, we are now talking to developed countries that produce that car, and you continue to do what? To import.
That's when we've not developed it
yes.
on our own manufacturing.
Okay. Saying motors is being encouraged, because I saw a fleet of road safety cars that he has produced and supplied to them, and he has produced and supplied to the army. And how there we are talking about phasing, petrol using cars, when we have not gotten the motor industries in this country working. The Vaughan was closed, Volkswagen of Nigeria. The MNA Motors was closed down, and then the PAN in Kaduna closed down, and all these are like Maribon car producing industries.
Okay, you're coming from the angle that we've not developed our technology to build or manufacture cars to avoid importations if such bill is passed. But the defense the Senate President is bringing up is that we are major producers of oil.
Of course.
That we shouldn't even consider something that
because
will kill
the market
our
is here. The market. Why can't we have fuel at the normal 50 naira per liter? Because we have not actually gotten our refineries to work. If we have done that, we would have been one of the largest country that produces PMS fuel
And consumes.
And consume as well, just like the Americans. Americans are actually buying because they don't have enough. But when you go to Alaska, where they have their offshore drilling sites, you find out that the Americans are actually prospecting and keeping for the rainy day. Because a situation is going to come up when there could be war in the Gulf, there could be war around us here, and most of these countries where they rely on. But what they produce, what they produce, they still have to stockpile in case of rainy day. And Nigerians are now talking about phasing out fuel cars. Well, what do they mean by that?
They really take well, because when oil is your mainstay, your economic mainstay, and then you're trying to phase out.
Sometimes when they bring up certain bills in National Assembly,
what will happen to
I believe that some of them are there for academic exercise, probably.
Okay.
Academic exercise, probably. And maybe they don't do proper consultations. Yes. All right. We'll still look at more papers, Guardian newspaper, and several others after this short break. Stay with us.
History shows Diamond shared the dream to build more than just a bank, bringing the online revolution to Nigeria and becoming part of the networked society, helping to lift the country and continent out of recession to enrich its people too. Now, with our two banks fused together, we can help more move up the social ladder and help future generations make more of their lives, whoever and wherever they are. A new bond to help unleash the potential in every African who banks with us.
All right, let's now move to the Daily Sun. On the front page of the Daily Sun, we have ministers get deadline on handover notes. Buhari gives them till April 24 to submit reports. I am more qualified than Atiku, President tells Tribunal. Malabu Oil Court orders Etete Adoke's arrest, declares 5 others wanted. Bago Yegede APC over Bajabiamila insists on contesting Rep's top job. Senate passes redrafted Electoral Act, PIG and other 4 bills. OK's radical police reforms. We also have Carlo authors mourners Olowo of Owo dies at 77. Those are the stories that we have on the front page of the Daily Sun. Oh, we also have beside the nameplate there 2 Anambra PGs killed in one day. Obiano offers 5 million naira for information on killers. All right. Let's look at the Senate bypassed the president yesterday, bypassed his veto and passed some 6 bills into law. Do you think the discord between the executive and the legislature in the federal government is not coming to an end soon?
Well, it is a beautiful development, I must say, that the National Assembly are now actually legislating on important bills. For instance, the electoral bill was not assented to, was sent back by His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, and several other important, like the PIB. Those are the bills that actually were sent back or either were trivialized. And these are important bills to this country that would have been passed into law.
And some people are saying that, is it not late? Because a lot of people expected them to do this, especially on the electoral bill before the election.
Yes.
That if that had been done, we wouldn't have had the kind of progress we had during
But you know, the Nigerian factor is this. When interests are playing out, they are playing out based on people that are not patriotic. We don't see ourselves as Nigerians that are serving Nigerians, because we are looking at our peculiar interest. We are looking at interest that it affects some section of the people. Otherwise, when you are in the National Assembly, you remain bipartisan, you discuss issues that affect this country. You talk about the development of this country. You talk about how, like they rarely say, the mantra is moving to the next level. How do we move to the next level when we are actually not doing the right thing? You can't be doing the wrong thing and expect to get it right. So a situation where the legislators are coming up with bills. In fact, I was expecting that the executive should come up with a bill and then sponsor the bill for the good of the country. But you can now see that there are rancors within the executive and the legislators, and as a result of that, we are suffering.
No, but I'm just checkmating each other. This major headlines there, ministers get let down on handover notes. What do we expect from the incoming cabinet?
Yeah, see,
will it be well represented like so many people cry for?
You see, I think His Excellency Muhammad Buhari is trying to be proactive now. You know, he took him about 6 months for him to be able to name his ministers. And as a result of that, a lot of things went wrong within his first tenure. So I think by now, he is actually trying to learn from the past experience. He wants all these things done, so he will be able, as soon as he gets on board, he will hit the ground running by getting the ministers to work. And the directors, you know, the ministries, agencies, and the departments that he wants them to start now to hand over, because we have never been making hay while the sun shines.
All right, all right. On the front page of the Punch newspaper, we are seeing this story taking as the major headline. Okay, Daily Times. We have split in-house APC caucus over who becomes speaker. We also have there on the Daily Times, as aspirant canvasses for position to be zoned to North Central. Beside the nameplate, my administration would fail Nigerians, Buhari tells Bill Gates. School feeding now in 30 states, 9.5 million pupils fed daily. That's coming from federal government. Court dismisses suit on sale of 9 Mobile. Senate passes redrafted PIGB, Electoral Act, 5 other bills. Imo governor-elect Ihedoha in UK on investment drive. Those are the stories that we'll have on the front page of the Daily Times. We'll also take Daily Punch together at the same time. EFCC says it is working with Interpol to arrest Adoke Etete as court orders ex-ministers, 5 others apprehension. NJC meets may extend Muhammad's tenure as acting CJN. Petrol will continue to sell for 145 naira, says NMPC, while we haven't held by-elections in Darius district. That's coming from INEC. We also have the domestic debt servicing gulps 1.8 trillion, rises by 330 billion naira. Okay, we also have there on the front page of
educationally qualified than Atiku, says Buhari.
Those are the stories on the front page of the Punch. Okay, like we took them together on Daily Times, the story of the rancor over the leadership of the National Assembly. I haven't seen it so hot in the past lives of the National Assembly. Why is interest on the leadership becoming so, will I call it, heightened?
You see, the 8th Senate had a lot of problems because His Excellency Muhammad Buhari was very aloof on who becomes the leader of the Senate. And you saw what played out. The horse trading actually, put a big sword into the party administration of the APC and then tore it into 2. So now, it is unfortunate that having had that experience, they would have sat down. Probably they didn't know they were going to win the election, and zone some of these principal offices to various zones, and by now, we would have known who contests what. In the Senate, Goje is coming up, Andume is coming up, Lawan is coming up. That's the Senate. And then you get to House of Rep, the central zone, and the North Central zone is saying it is our turn. But Jamila is saying, I am a ranking member of this house. I have been to the rep. I have been this. I have been that. And it was Dogara that scuffled him the last time. So this time around, he was actually relying on the party blessing. However, the leadership of the National Assembly, from the constitutional provision, is for the National Assembly to elect the principal officers.
Parties.
Okay?
Okay, based on that now, what do you expect? What do you expect that's going to be the outcome of all these phone calls?
But then if care is not taken, okay, because it is a hot trading stuff, the PDP are not folding their arms, and they have some good number of them, and they don't have overwhelming majority APC. They have to actually partner with PDP. Otherwise, they are going to see on the June 6th another repetition of what happened in 2015.
Based on that, are you seeing a situation where PDP comes up again and at least takes over the Senate, maybe 1 or 2 seats, like they did the last time we saw Senator Ike Peremadu coming from the opposition to become the Deputy Senate President?
Oh, yes. You see, the whole problem is by the chairman of the APC. He actually, I don't know what actually, moves him. He talks too much. That they are not going to compromise. When you know that the PDP and some other political party do have some sizable number of senators and House of Rep in there, and then you are now saying it's going to be winner take all, and you are talking to men who are actually into National Assembly politics, and you are talking to people who have deep pockets. Some of the governors are there, ex-governors. And they do have money to finance whatever. So you can't just say that. Roger Zokali is in the Senate. Who knows what he's going to do?
This Malabo oil scam that resurfaces, what do you expect that's going to be the outcome now?
You see, that's not going to be the outcome. You see, Nigerians have never actually taken investigation to the height of convincing the country that this is a holistic approach to an issue that actually became a scandal. Malabo Gate is a scandal that is involved in our oil industry, and nobody got punished. And today, probably somebody somewhere must have done something that is actually sparks it up.
So, all right, we'll continue to see how the game plays out in this ongoing, ever non-ending scandal called Malabo Gate. More stories on the papers, but this is how far we'll go this morning. Thank you, Comrade Kanayo Bidibo, Public Affairs Analyst, for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.
Dalo. This is how far we'll go on the press review discussion this morning. Stay with us as we bring you other issues, look at the themes for the day on Good Morning Anambra. Stay with us.